Welcome, welcome to the Beyond You podcast and come sit with me, get comfortable. We're about to have one of those conversations that might make you uncomfortable, but in a good way. But I needed someone to be honest with me about this kind of way, right? Before we dive in, quick thing. If you've been listening and these episodes keep resonating with you, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure so I know that you like these videos. I am trying to get to 1,000 this year. And I love the fact that you've been sharing, telling me what you have been learning from my podcast. And I'm just so excited that you're here and more people to be able to see our episodes. But if this space is becoming your space to talk about the things that are messy, parts of healing, let's make it official. Subscribe so you don't miss these conversations. Welcome to the Beyond You podcast, where we have real conversations about healing, trusting yourself again, and building the kind of relationships that actually feel good. I'm Samantha, and if you've ever felt like you're just going through the motions, like you're doing all the right things but still feeling disconnected, you're in the right place. Because here we go beyond the surface, beyond the hurt, beyond the patterns that keep you stuck. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's get into it. All right, so let's talk about the question I get asked more than almost any other. Samantha, I'm in therapy, I'm doing the work, I'm healing, but I'm also lonely. And I see other people in relationships, and I want that too. But everyone keeps telling me I need to heal completely before I date. So, should I wait or can I date now? And if I can date now, how do I do that without repeating the same patterns? And underneath that question is usually this fear. What if I wait until I'm fully healed and I miss my chance? What if the right person shows up, but I'm not ready? What if I'm alone forever because I'm trying to do the right thing and heal first? Let me know if this resonated with you because I've been hearing this so much this past month. And I just wanted to tap into this because I need to know you're not alone in this just tension, the pull between wanting love and knowing you need to heal. And that's one of the most common struggles I see in my practice. And today, I'm not going to give you a simple yes or no. Okay, because the answer isn't that clean, and I know you guys want yes or no's. The answer is it depends, and I hate people giving that answer, but it's true. It does depend. And we're going to figure out together though what it depends on and what's right specifically for you. Now, what some Instagram therapist says, not what your friends think, not what your mother wants, what's actually right for you in your specific situation with your specific patterns in your healing journey. Sound good? All right, let's do this. So, we're going to first start with the question you're really asking and not even realizing. Should I date while healing? Isn't actually the question. The real question is, am I going to repeat the same painful patterns if I start dating now? That's what you're afraid of, right? That you're going to meet someone and fall into the same trap, that you're going to ignore red flags again, that you're going to abandon yourself again, that you're going to choose someone who hurts you again because you haven't healed enough to recognize healthy love yet. And that's a valid fear because here's the truth I need to understand. You can absolutely date while healing, but if you haven't done enough work to recognize your patterns, you're likely going to repeat them. Not guaranteed, but more than likely. So the question isn't really about timing, it's about awareness and capacity. And let me break that down. Awareness means, do you know your patterns? Do you understand why you were attracted to the people that hurt you? Do you recognize red flags when you see them? Do you know what your triggers are? Can you identify them? Do you know when you're about to abandon yourself? Capacity means, can you hold a boundary even when it's uncomfortable? Can you walk away from chemistry if there's no safety? Can you stay connected to yourself even when you're attracted to someone? Can you tolerate the discomfort of something being slow and steady instead of intense and chaotic? If you have awareness but not capacity yet, dating is going to be hard. You'll see the red flags, but you won't be able to walk away from them. You'll know you're repeating a pattern, but you won't be able to stop yourself. If you have capacity but not awareness, dating can also be dangerous. You don't even see the red flags. You'll think you're making different choices, but you're actually attracted to the same type wrapped in different packaging. You need both. You need that awareness and capacity. And here's what I also want you to get. You don't have to be fully healed to have those, but you do have to do some type of work. So let me know if you are aware of this, like having that awareness and having the capacity right now. And I would just want you to be honest with yourself because the answer is going to help you figure out if you're ready. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but Samantha, am I ever going to be fully healed? Like, when is this finish line? You're right. There's no destination on when you're going to be healed. It's not this arrival place. And that's what I want you to understand. There is no finish line. You're never going to be fully healed. You're constantly growing. Healing isn't a destination, it's a practice. So if you're waiting until you're completely healed before you date, you're going to be waiting for a long time. A lot of times, forever. There's no fully healed place. And that's not just realistic to be fully healed. And honestly, it's not necessary. You don't have to be perfect to be in a relationship. You just have to be self aware and committed to not abandoning yourself. And that's going to be the biggest thing. But, and this is important, there is a such thing too soon. There is such thing as not being ready. And we're going to talk about how to know the difference. All right, so let's get real. Let's talk about the sign that you're not actually ready to date yet. And I'm going to be honest with you about this because I care more about your healing than making you feel good. Those aren't judgments, they're just markers. And if you recognize yourself in these, it doesn't mean something is wrong with you in any capacity. It means you just need more time, and that's okay. Sign number one, you're looking for someone to complete you. Look, if you're dating because you feel incomplete without a partner, if you're hoping someone will fill the void, make you feel whole, give you purpose, you're not ready. Dating from emptiness always ends in dysfunction, always. Because when you need someone to complete you, you'll tolerate anything to keep them. You'll ignore red flags, you'll abandon yourself, you'll stay in situations that hurt you because being alone feels worse. And you have to be okay with being with yourself before you're ready to be with someone else. And I don't mean perfectly happy alone forever. I mean, can you sit with yourself without needing constant distraction? And I used to hate when people would tell me this, but it really is true. Like, can you enjoy your own company? Do you have a life that feels full even without a partner? If the answer is not really, you need more time. And take these with a grain of salt. You just choose what resonates with you, because I know this can be very touchy. Sign number two, you haven't identified your patterns yet. If you can't tell me why your last relationship didn't work, if you can't identify the specific patterns you fell into, you're going to repeat them. If it just didn't work out, isn't enough. We wanted different things, isn't deep enough. They were toxic, might be true, but what about you made you stay? What about you made you attracted to them in the first place? You need to know your part, not to blame yourself, but to understand what you're working with, what you're healing from, what you need to watch out for. If you don't know your patterns, you're going to walk right back into this them with someone else, just with someone new. So let me know in the comments. Can you name one pattern you're working on healing? Just one. If you can't, you need more time before dating, right? Like, you want to be able to name these things. Sign number three, you're still emotionally attached to your ex. If you're still checking social media, still hoping they'll come back, still comparing everyone to them, you're not available for someone new. You might think you are, but emotionally, you're still occupied. It's just not fair to date someone new when you're emotionally invested in someone else. They deserve your full presence and you deserve to actually be available for connection, not using someone new to get over someone old. Dating to distract yourself from heartbreak is just creating another mess to clean up later. So, sign number 4, you can't be alone. If the idea of being alone makes you panic, if you jump from relationship to relationship because being single feels unbearable, you're not ready. And it's difference between if it's unbearable versus you understand when the last one to work out and going to the next one. Because what you're doing is using relationships as a coping mechanism a lot of the times as a way to avoid yourself, and that's not sustainable. Relationships shouldn't be your escape from yourself. It should be a choice you make from a place of wholeness. If you can't be alone without falling apart, work on that first. Build a relationship with yourself, learn to enjoy your own company and just get comfortable in your own skin. Then date from that place. Sign number 5. You're not in therapy or doing active healing work. Listen, I get it, how people feel about it. And I am not saying you have to go to me at all. If you just got out of a painful or toxic relationship and you have not unpacked it, just with the professional, if you're not actively doing the work of understanding what happened and healing from it, you're going to take all that unresolved trauma into your next relationship. And so I even do this for myself in going to therapy as well. Like, I don't come to you without just knowing that I'm human before I'm a therapist or before I do any types of projects. And but you need to have done some structured work around understanding and healing your patterns before you go back out there. And you let me know if you have done this, because this is what is needed to really fully be able to understand yourself. Because there's no shame in needing more time. There's no shame in saying, I'm not ready yet. That's wisdom. That's not weakness. So I want to talk about 3 signs that you might be ready with caveats. Okay. So we've talked about signs you're not ready. Now let's talk about signs you might be ready to start dating, even though you're still healing. Because again, you don't have to be fully healed, but you do have to be self aware and have some capacity. So, green flag number 1, you can name your patterns and you're actively working on them. If you can say, I tend to ignore red flags when there is strong chemistry, or I have a pattern of choosing emotionally unavailable people, or I abandon myself to avoid conflict, and you're actively working on this, and you're actively working on changing those patterns, you might be ready. You're not perfect, but you're aware, and that awareness is what's really gold. Green flag number 2, you're okay being single. If being single doesn't feel like a crisis, if you've built a life you actually enjoy, if you have hobbies and friendships and purpose, you might be ready. Because when you're okay alone, you date from choice, not desperation. You're not trying to fill a void. You're inviting someone to add to something that's already really good. That's the foundation for healthy relationships. Green flag number 3, you can hold boundaries even when it's uncomfortable. And I know this can be hard for a lot of you, and that work with me, and it has been very challenging. But this is a big one. If you've practiced setting boundaries, if you've had moments where you said no, even though it was hard, when you've walked away from something that didn't serve you, even though you wanted to stay, you might be ready. Because dating while healing requires boundaries every time. You need to be able to say, this doesn't feel right, and mean it. You need to be able to walk away from red flags, even if the chemistry is strong. If you can do that, you can probably date while healing. Green flag number 4, you're not looking for someone to fix. And I've been hearing this a lot with build a man that's been going on here, build a partner. If you're approaching dating from, I'd like to share my life with someone rather than I need someone to make me feel whole, you, you might be ready. That energy is different. One is collaborative, the other is codependent. Green flag number 5, you have support systems in place. If you have a therapist, friends who will call you out, people who know your patterns and reality check, you, when you're falling into them, you might be ready, because dating while healing requires external support. You need people who will say, hey, this person sounds like your ex. Or you're doing that thing again when you ignore red flags. Like, you need people that's going to call you out. You can't do this alone. You need backup. So you let me know, and which green flags do you have? And which ones are you still continuing to work on and build? So I love to be able to give you just information to be able to show on just how to be able to do things, right? So how to date differently when you're still healing. So, all right. So let's say you decided you're ready to date, or at least ready to explore it. And here's how to do it differently. Here's how to date while healing without repeating the same patterns. Rule number 1, I want you to go slow. And I mean slow. And I'm telling myself this at times as well, right? If your pattern is jumping in too fast, getting swept up in intensity, merging your lives before you really know someone, you need to intentionally go slow. And I'm talking, and you can choose what you want to do. Like, this is just example that I've seen, but you choose what you want. No sleep over the first few months, limited texting between dates, 1 date per week, not 5. No, I love you in the first 3 months. No meeting each other's families too soon. Like, you get to decide what this looks like. But know that slow allows you to see patterns. Fast allows you to ignore them. And yes, this will feel uncomfortable if you're used to intensity, but that discomfort is information. It's telling you that slow and steady feels foreign, because chaos felt like home. You need to get comfortable with slow. Rule number 2, keep your support system involved. Tell your therapist you're dating, tell your close friends, give them permission to reality check you. Share about the person you're seeing. Let them point out patterns you might be missing. Don't isolate the way you did in your last relationship. Your people can see what you can because you're in it. So let them help you. Rule number 3, I want you to watch actions, not words. This is crucial. Don't listen to what they say. I want you to watch what they do. Do their actions match their words? Do they follow through? Are they consistent? Do they respect your boundaries? Do they handle conflict in healthy ways? Because people can say all the right things, but behavior tells you the truth. And if you notice a gap between what they say and what they do, understand that's a red flag. And I want you to walk away. Rule number 4, don't abandon yourself. This is the most important one. You cannot lose yourself trying to keep someone else. That means keep your hobbies, keep your friendships, keep your alone time, keep your boundaries, keep your voice. If you notice yourself shrinking, people pleasing, ignoring your needs, changing who you are to make them happy, stop right there. That's your old pattern showing up. The right person will require you to abandon yourself to keep them. Rule number 5, be honest about where you are. You don't have to trauma dump on the first date, but you do need to be honest that you're in a healing season. Something like, I'm in a place where I'm really working on myself and healing from past relationships. I'm interested in getting to know you, but I'm also committed in to going slow and being intentional. If that scares them off, they weren't the right person anyway. The right person will respect your healing. They'll honor your peace. They'll support your growth. Rule number 6, stay connected to your body. This is so important. Your body knows before your brain does. So pay attention. Does your stomach get tight around them? Do you feel anxious after you see them? Do you feel like you're walking on eggshells? Or do you feel calm, safe, grounded, like you can breathe? Your body will tell you the truth. You just have to listen to it. So let me know in the comments which of these rules feels hardest for you, because I know this can feel really hard because that's the one you need to pay attention to, the one that feels the hardest. So know that we have talked and unlocked a lot within this episode. So here's where I want us to land. Should you date while healing? And should you date while still healing? The answer is maybe. It depends. It depends on whether you have awareness and capacity. It depends on whether you're okay being alone. It depends on whether you can hold boundaries. It depends on whether you have support systems in place. You don't have to be fully healed to date, but you do have to be self-aware. You do have done some work. You do have to be committed to not repeating your patterns. If you have those things, you can try cautiously, slowly, with support. If you don't have those, yet, give yourself more time. It's not a race. The right person will still be there when you're ready. And if they're not, they weren't the right person. So here is what I need you to walk away knowing. There's no perfect time to start dating. There's no magical moment when you'll feel 100% ready, but there is such thing as too soon, and only you can determine where you are. So ask yourself honestly, do I know my patterns? Can I hold boundaries? Am I okay being alone? Am I looking for someone to complete me or to share with me? Your answers will tell you if you're ready. And here's what I need from you. I want you to just share this episode with the friend who's asking the same question, the one who's in therapy but also lonely, the one who doesn't know if she should wait or if she should try. You can tag me over on Instagram at @IamSamantha.A and use hashtag healing and dating so I can find you. And let me know in the comments. I love to be able to hear what you guys have to say. Are you going to date while healing? Are you going to wait? And what made you decide? If you haven't subscribed, now's the time to do so. These conversations about the messy middle of healing, this is what we do here. Don't miss them because we are here every week. Speaking of ongoing support, knowing that I have my Substack and I have different projects are coming online. So make sure to be a part of our newsletter. You can check out this behind the scenes over on Substack as well. If you share deeper reflections about what's going on that can instantly be able to help you throughout this process. I am just so excited on all the work you guys are doing and the community that we have here and ours to continue to grow. So you continue to be you and show up in your life fully as yourself because we can't wait to meet the authentic you. I will talk to you soon and I'll see you next week.